Welcome everyone to another edition of Chai After Dark. Today we have a special guest, entertainment lawyer, Shabnam. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm not an entertainment lawyer and I'm your regular co-host, but hey, we can play entertainment lawyer today.
I'm here with my lovely co-host who has been up every morning early going through all the sordid details of the Diddy Trial. So today that's what we're going to discuss. I'm Sameem. I'm actually here with Shabnam, my co-host. We couldn't get an entertainment lawyer.
We don't need an entertainment lawyer. This is like, there's so many sordid details. Ugh, it's like, I don't even know where to start, but I have like a special connection to this case because I was so into his Making the Band series. The Making the Band 3 was my favorite one. I think that's one where he created Danity Kane. I watched that like during college finals when I was like studying for the LSAT. I was like, I can totally relate to these women working really hard because I'm working so hard and I'm going to become a lawyer. Little did I know, behind the scenes, shit was crazy. And it's funny because Dave Chappelle did like a skit about that whole like Making the Band experience. And now the ladies are coming out too. But like Dave Chappelle's point was he would have them running around Central Park, running to Brooklyn, like doing all this stuff. Obviously they need to be conditioned as artists, but he was kind of taking it a little too far. But you saw the Dave Chappelle skit, right?
I saw it like years ago where he tries to get them to get like Cambodian breast milk or something off the wall.
Breast milk from a real Cambodian.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, how do you do that? So I kind of feel like some of the stuff that's going to come up today in the Diddy trial details that we're going to walk through, and we're not going to walk through the details. We're going to make fun of this shit, but we're also going to be respectful of the victims. Sorry, I don't know why I laughed in the middle.
Respectful of the victims in a somber voice. Yeah. No,
respectful of the victims. But I was going to say, it seems like after going through some of these details that the Chappelle show was not exaggerated at all. It was almost like Diddy was worse.
Yeah,
like,
he was. The
Chappelle show is supposed to be absurd, right? And it wasn't, because Diddy was so absurd.
Right. And the skit was hilarious because the skit was, like you said, run to Brooklyn and get breast milk from a real Cambodian. And then they actually do it and they bring it back and he's like drinking. He's like, this is real Cambodian breast milk. And then another Dave Chappelle basically falls out of the sky and like puts an umbrella over Diddy while he's drinking the breast milk. It's like crazy hilarious because he's rumored to have had this guy following him around, an assistant that would just like have a umbrella over his head.
Yeah. Well, that's not a rumor. He was in his videos. He had a name. That guy was like following him around.
Yeah, he has an interesting name. I can't remember it.
He's been around and he used to follow him around with an umbrella.
I'm gonna Google that.
I mean,
bet you it'll come
NBA
up.
players and stuff had people carrying their backpacks filled with jewelry, right? Because if anybody
Farnsworth Bentley, that's his name.
Yes,
hey, if you were gonna have a guy to hold your umbrella, I would want my guy's name to be Farnsworth Bentley too. That's a great name for an umbrella holder.
You can call him Fonzie, but you got to pay him. Actually, now Diddy wasn't paying people, right? So he was probably, I thought that guy was like a millionaire or something. I totally remember him like in my early 20s.
Yeah.
He was like in all the music videos and shit.
Yeah.
You know, P. Diddy didn't start off as P. Diddy, right? He was just Sean Combs, which is
he was Sean
wild.
Combs, Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, then Love.
Just Puff. So I guess Puff was
Puff.
a nickname from his childhood, so that's where it came from. But Puff Daddy was the original stage name.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's sort of like, I don't know, how much power is enough? Right? And we talk about this a lot. There's a lot of similarities between other things that we've talked about, particularly the Bad Boy Billionaires episode we just put out, where that guy was just, hey, I have an idea for an airplane. Hot models.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think once you get a taste for power, it can be like a drug to you. You can get drunk off of it. Because that's what I feel like all his things about go get Cambodian breast milk, that's not actually real. But like him asking people to jump through hoops for him from the reality shows we've seen, not even getting to the trial and the other stuff, it feels like he was trying to see what can I get people to do, because it's a power trip, right? So actually one person during the trial, somebody he was working with on a project, they were waiting for him to come down from this luxury hotel. He's wearing the robe of the hotel and it's open and he's not wearing any underwear, right? So it's like, why would someone do that? He's doing it to another grown-ass man. I mean, maybe he's attracted to male and female, whatever that is. I mean, that would be called bisexual, but I'm saying any sexual things he does, I'm not convinced it's really related to a sexual identity. It could just be like deviance because he's also insane, right? So putting that stuff aside, but just why would you do that in front of another grown person as part of a business deal? It's just simply like a power thing. It's like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
It asserts power.
Down.
Like, what are you going to do if you want something from Diddy and he shows up with his Diddy out with his robe on? Then
LOL.
you're going to do what he tells you to do because you want something from him. There aren't many people like Diddy in this world.
Exactly. And if you stay in that situation and try to get that business deal done, it shows him that, he can push you around. Right?
Look at what he did to Cassie. This is exactly the core issue, right? The core issue is how much manipulation and violence he inflicted on her until she basically succumbed to his every desire. Right?
Right.
That's just how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so the trial started a couple weeks ago. This is the end of week 2 of the trial. The trial is supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks, and she is their star witness. So she's our star witness because she met him when she was 18 or 19 years old. He basically seduced her. He tried really hard to like get her to like him, even though she was dating someone else at the time. He finally invited her to Miami to party and they slept together, and that's when they got together, and it started this 11-year long relationship where obviously there's a disparate power impact. She's a much younger girl. He's 17 years older than her. He's obviously super powerful in the industry. She wanted to be in the industry, and he abused her. Obviously, we saw the tape from the Intercontinental where he like hits her as she's getting into the elevator, throws her down, kicks her, drags her as well by her like hoodie or whatever. And then she also alleges that he had these freak off sex parties where he like forced her to engage sexually with escorts and a bunch of other people. And it's just like it gets worse and worse because the testimony of these escorts and other folks involved is like, there's, blood on the sheets, urine on the sheets, baby oil everywhere, baby oil on the drapes. And then, the craziest detail ever, when the male escorts finished, she would go to another room with Diddy and put it on his nipples.
Put what on his nipples?
Put their finish.
Come on.
I swear to God. Okay, I swear to God. That is part of the trial.
Look, I didn't go through the details, right? I like talking about his name and making the band. I didn't know the fluid exchange went from room to room via a person.
So all I have to say is I listened to a podcast with Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne the God, and they said bars need to now have a new drink called Another Man's Nut on Your Nipples.
Oh, man. I don't know what you get out of that. So I don't even know what to say about that detail other than, look, here's the thing, right? We all know, look, I've had sex before. I'm just going to say it. That's super controversial. I totally get it. I know we have some listeners out there.
I thought Sophie was Immaculate Conception.
Yeah. At least one time I've had sex, right? And, thinking about these freak-offs, for Diddy, I guess post-nut clarity is just not a thing.
Yeah.
It just becomes like post-nut additional deviance or additional nut on my chest. I don't understand. So it can't be like a sexual thing. I think you're completely correct.
It's a power thing.
It's a power thing.
Yeah.
And there's not much more you can do with your fluids and multiple people. So he's doing just stuff that he comes up with, like a Cleveland steamer where you take a shit on someone's chest and then you rub it in. That's a thing I don't know. I only know that I've seen it in a movie. I don't partake.
I mean, allegedly there was people who played on Cleveland teams at those parties. So who knows?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Allegedly. But dude, Diddy's been a monster from day one, right? I think.
Yeah.
Looking back at making the band in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I thought maybe some of that stuff was trumped up for the cameras. But looking back now, it seems like that's just who he is. And the way that he would like yell at the contestants.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with them being famous and or being like a musician pop star. It was just, I'm Diddy. What are you going to do for me? And it doesn't really make sense to me because American Idol, X Factor, America's Got Talent, all of that showcases talent first. But Diddy was, no, I'm just an extremely abusive individual. Give me a show so I can take advantage of the people that are the most susceptible to that kind of behavior because they're so desperate to become famous, and there's not a lot of ways to become famous, right? So this is their one opportunity. So it's kind of fucked up. Whatever. What am I saying? Of course it's fucked up. Like that's the whole premise of this guy's life.
Well, and I think him using Cassie to do these things, it's a power play, right? I think he's definitely attracted to her because I read things where it's like he only really claimed publicly two women, which is Kim Porter, the mother of a few of his children, and Cassie. Yeah. And so he obviously liked her status, her looks, her persona, something about her. I don't know if it was her personality or maybe just his ability to control her. But within like the private part of the relationship, he definitely got off on controlling her and being able to order her to do these things sexually. I think maybe that was like gratifying to him. It's sick, right?
It probably just, I don't even think it was like a sexual thing. He was abusive in general, it seems like.
Right.
Do you think she did something or she didn't do something and then he ran after her in the hotel? No, it was probably just him being him. So the making the band stuff is wild. Some of the details you've gone through is like completely wild as well. But let's not forget this guy was involved or somewhat involved in like other stuff in the 90s, including like murders and hits, and not hits like the music hits because he had those too, but like he ordered hits. If there's so much smoke, there's got to be some fire, right? So it's like, he's like, take my jizz and put it on somebody's chest, but then he's also
No, he wants someone else's, another man's on his nipples.
Sorry. Sword fighting and jizz crossing isn't like, my favorite activity. So I don't know what he's doing with all that. And then he goes and just becomes like a murderous supervillain as well. And isn't that what Kid Cudi says? He calls him a Marvel supervillain. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's everything that you don't want to be.
Yeah, and he's living in almost an alternate universe where there's no consequences. He allegedly threw a Molotov cocktail under Kid Cudi's Porsche, and then I'm not laughing at Kid Cudi.
It's just hilarious. And then he went to his home, right? He broke in as well.
Yeah, and then when Kid Cudi confronted him, he said he was sitting there like a supervillain. And he like didn't really say anything, but then a couple years later he was like sorry about that shit or whatever.
Yeah, but because Kid Cudi wasn't with Cassie anymore, right? The reason so Kid Cudi starts dating Cassie while Diddy and Cassie are on and off. And then Diddy breaks into his house and I guess they called each other. And Kid Cudi was like, "Are you in my house?" And Diddy said yes. So Kid Cudi started driving there. When he got there, Diddy wasn't there. But then he went through all the Christmas gifts, and it was like Chanel bags and stuff for his family. And he didn't steal the gifts. He like opened the Christmas gifts. That's the most diabolical, villainous thing you can do.
It's a power play, right? It's like, I don't actually need your shit because I'm just going to
open your gifts is like the most perverted thing you can do to somebody around Christmas. Honestly. Because like these motherfuckers take Christmas pretty seriously in this country. And to open someone's gifts is like the most extreme thing you could probably do to ruin someone's Christmas.
It's like taking their joy away because that's one of the best parts is opening gifts, right? Yeah. And I feel like that's his thing. He's like, how can I take people's joy away or like make them do things for me to make them know I'm in control?
And what do people enjoy the most? That's what I'm going to take from you. So the second thing he did at Kid Cudi's house, he locked the dog in the bathroom.
Really?
And people love their dogs and they love their Christmas gifts. He went after the two things that he knew would like pain Kid Cudi because he's not going to steal anything. He doesn't.
It's like
need
a psychological
anything.
Abuse.
Yeah,
it's psychological abuse.
It's like those thriller films. I've seen a few of those, right? Like they'll leave like the cabinet open, like a precursor to a horror film. So yeah, it's pretty fucking ridiculous. But holy shit, dude, this guy is not just villainous. And then he created not just Molotov cocktails for the car. Didn't he also do like a lot of drug cocktails to keep these parties going? He was like a villainous chemistry madman.
Yeah. So apparently, okay, so there's something called like 2C or cocaine. And I've tried to do some research and like ask folks about this. And I'm not sure like exactly what's correct because I'm no drug expert. I've never partied hard till the early morning hours at a Diddy party. But apparently there's something called pink cocaine that is usually a mix of cocaine and ecstasy, right? And so I saw this one TikTok. So allegedly, we don't, no fact check here, right?
Yeah.
So people say that they would do cocaine so that they could stay up all night and have sex. They would do MDMA.
No. Let me correct you. I've never done cocaine, but she says limp dick. So when you do cocaine
gives you a little limp dick.
So then keep going. Then another drug
so then you need
play.
Then you need Viagra to help you go all night, right?
Yeah.
To help you stay hard. And then you need Percocet to relax you and relax all your muscles so you can take it everywhere. And then you need some ketamine to disassociate so that you don't feel a psychological trauma too much. And then lastly, you want some ecstasy just to overall give you that good feeling.
Yeah.
And like that's their cocktail so that they can party all night.
But that wasn't a cocktail to party all night. That was the cocktail he was providing to the people he was abusing, essentially. So they kept going, right? Like, I don't know how hard Diddy's dick was for 4 straight days. That'd be wild to have a 4-day boner. So that's why I don't know if he's like coming and then like getting hard again. Sorry, it's Chai After Dark, guys, and I don't really want to mince words right now. Who gives a shit? Like,
maybe he's not.
About. Yeah.
Maybe he's not because maybe he's just watching other people and he only finishes once. Or
yeah,
something.
Is he a voyeur or what's the other one? Exhibitionist? Because it seems like he's watching.
Yeah, it seems like he's. Well, that's the thing, right? That's also a power play. Like he's like surveilling them, right?
It's like he's making Cassie's his like personal porn star, essentially.
Right, and then he's surveilling everyone and controlling the atmosphere,
making sure
and he's
everyone does what he wants.
Yeah, it's a very, very much a control thing. It's just insane.
Yeah, so the parties aren't the reason why he was arrested. It was everything around it. The drugs, the trafficking, the human trafficking. You can't be trafficking escorts and sex workers for parties in this country, right? So
like across state lines.
Across state lines, yeah. All kinds of shit.
And there's allegations about potentially people not being fully of age. And then obviously Cassie alleges that she was coerced, which isn't hard to believe after seeing that Intercontinental video. And then there's the racketeering, the RICO charge, which RICO charge for just one individual is pretty rare.
Wild.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. So it basically means that you're using your organization, which is like whatever his Bad Boy Records, I think it's called Combs Enterprises or something. Is the official name. So he's using that organization as a criminal enterprise, which initially the law was meant to fight against the mob, right? So where the mob would create these organizations to like launder money, sell drugs, etc., commit crimes, murder, whatever it is, assault, whatever. So they're using that against him because he apparently used Combs Enterprises to, maybe from whatever we've seen in the trial so far and all these allegations, it's plausible that it could be like to move drugs, to sex traffic people, to, coerce people, to violate labor laws potentially, because there's all these like crazy shit he made his like assistants do. And in one of the documentaries, the assistant claims that he was told to have sex with a woman just randomly. And so he started to have sex with this woman, and then Diddy like kind of left and couldn't see them anymore. And then he like stopped and he left.
Everything's just control from top to bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it like we haven't even gotten into his music yet, right? So the reason, as you mentioned, Cassie wanted to be successful and she fell in love with Diddy. That's what she says on the stand. But then of course he took advantage of that, but he never helped her. After her one big hit, he promised her like this big album and record deal, and it never came, right? And he did this to many other rappers from the 90s. Mace was a big rapper, and he had a lot of hits with Mace, and I still listen to some of Mace's records, and then Diddy will come on, and all he does is provide some small melody. He doesn't have any hits, right? He has no hits on his own. So, he even took control of people's like finances. Rappers. That
So Cassie is in a what is it, like 9 or 10 album contract, and she only ever did the one album. And so he never had her do a second album. So he basically owns her. It's almost like
That's
indentured
wild.
servitude.
Yes.
It's like a crazy contract, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, some of this stuff feels unconscionable, but I suppose if everyone's being treated fairly and they actually produce 10 albums and it's like lucrative for both sides, then yeah, neither side would probably mind.
He didn't need her
but
because he was taking advantage of many other rappers and artists at the same time. And they, years and years ago, people were like, he's holding up our contracts and we're not making the albums. He gets all the royalties from the stuff that we've already recorded, the stuff that got popular. And that's how Diddy made all this money. Mace, I think even Mary J. Blige was on Bad Boy Records. He took advantage of
Usher as well, too?
I don't think
Justin Bieber, right?
Usher might have been on Bad Boy initially, but I don't... Because I do know Usher went to Diddy parties when he was like 14.
Yeah.
And then he did comment on it, and they asked him if he would ever let his kids go to a Diddy party, and he was like, hell no.
Yeah.
So,
but he brought Justin Bieber in, apparently, allegedly.
But Usher was, I'm not going to like, he wasn't old. He was still pretty young as well, right?
Yeah.
So, and Bieber just came out and said he didn't get abused. He said that last week or this week.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw that. So he finally came out.
Yeah.
But he's not looking great. So whatever trauma he has. I mean, I saw a video montage of a lot of women basically harassing him, touching him, underage, grown women.
Wow.
Right? Like,
yeah. I mean, even
gross.
even if he didn't go to these Diddy parties, just his whole trajectory of fame at that young of an age and all of that.
He seems miserable.
Yeah.
And he's only like 28 or 30. He has an entire life ahead of him. That kid needs help, right? And Diddy didn't help. There's a video of Diddy and Bieber with Diddy's arm around Bieber. Have you seen that video?
No. Is it after the 48-hour hangout with Diddy?
It's before the 48-hour. He says, this 15-year-old is going to see things no 15-year-old's ever seen. He's not my child, but I do have custody of him for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And
then I don't know. I've seen some videos, which I'm not 100% sure if they're real or not, of him not looking good after and like having had stitches on his lip after, which is crazy. And then there's also an interview with both of them on a late night show where Bieber starts talking about how Diddy gave him a Jaguar, and Diddy kind of shuts him down. Like, Bieber, he knows better than to talk about these things in front of the world. And it's like, why? Like, why would you give him a Jaguar? And if you did, why would you not want him to talk about it?
And he wasn't signed to him or anything, right? So, I don't know. Maybe he's under
creepy.
some NDA. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But look, I don't want to like... You know his kid's mom died recently, and she's pretty young. She was pretty young.
Kim Porter you're talking about? Yeah.
So
she died of pneumonia. There? A lot of people have died around him, right?
I know, but Diddy can do a lot of things.
Yeah, Biggie died. Like, a lot of people have died around him. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's just a difficult person to be around, so much so that you just drop dead, you know?
Well, she was writing a book. That's what that's what they're saying. And
internet say.
That's what the internet's saying. That's why I'm not, like, you know, this is more sleuth right now. I'm not saying anything definitive. Obviously, the things that we have said definitive have been through the court case. But for Kim Porter, there are a lot of reports that he abused her and stalked her as well. They weren't together, but I think he has 5 kids or something like that. And I think 3 of them are with her because he has other baby mamas too or something like that. But he stalked her as well. So she died of pneumonia, but I don't know what happened there. She died of pneumonia.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what allegedly happened, but who knows? I mean, he might even have 7 children, I think. So he has like 4 or 5 with her. Like,
you know, this motherfucker has some kids that he probably doesn't even know about. Like, come on.
Yeah, and then he adopted one of those kids, and then remember for like 10 minutes he adopted some white girl, and then she disappeared. Nobody knows where she is.
Oh yeah, I saw that. There was like a video of that as well. He like adopted. Yeah. Oh my god, dude! Like Michael Jackson was adopting kids. Now Diddy wants to be around kids. What is with these men, powerful men? Like Matt Gaetz, who lives in San Diego, by the way, that congressman, he adopted like a male 15-year-old or 16-year-old, and the kid's like 19 or 20 now.
Oh.
I don't know. So
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
To have like a little attachment next to you, I kind of get it, I guess. Like, hey, look at my little Justin Bieber. It's kind of.
I mean, obviously, people adopt children for normal.
He had a bunch of kids,
right? Yeah, he had a bunch of kids. And the fact that girl was supposedly adopted and then disappeared, I mean, that's really fishy, right? It's like, who knows where she went and why she went there. And then also the Making the Band girls, what was interesting about them, so one of them, Dee Woods, was in a documentary I watched on, I think it was Max, and she basically said that Aubrey O'Day, who's been the most outspoken one against Diddy for like years and years and years, that he fired Aubrey first, and he fired Aubrey because she didn't succumb to his advances. Apparently, they're going through this whole entertainment boot camp, whatever. So she changed her look. And then according to Dee Woods, Diddy said to Aubrey, now you're hot enough that I can fuck you. And she like didn't succumb to his advances. And then he fired her the next day.
I'm going to put a theory out there. Sort of attached to that story. I think Diddy is potentially he might just be gay. I had an acquaintance who was gay, but he was married with a kid, and he told me when he was drunk once.
Oh, wow.
I know, it was pretty recent. Actually, it was like 2-3 years ago.
So you think that Diddy could be gay, and because of his maybe status and background, he might feel like he can't come out of the closet?
Well, he went to Howard University in the late 80s, early 90s, and you couldn't really come out as gay if you were part of certain communities back then. Our community, a lot of communities, like in general, 1991 wasn't a great time. Yeah. After the AIDS crisis in the 80s, we were kids, right? Like, I don't really know what the sentiment was, but I'm assuming it wasn't great. So
it wasn't great.
It wasn't great. My friend is married with a child, and nobody is going to know who he is, but he basically watches porn morning to night, and he told me he jacks off 3 to 4 times a day, and that's his conversion therapy. I'm not joking.
Wait, to straight porn or to straight gay porn? Oh, so he's trying to get himself to like it?
I think he actually loves women, because when we used to go out, he wouldn't stop staring at women, so I don't really know. He says he's gay. He also cheats on his wife with escorts. He told me that as well. Well,
but you said that you said that he was gay.
He told me he was gay. But he also told, this is the same, everything I'm telling you is from the same night, same conversation.
All right.
So I think he was trying to tell me that he was trying to become straight by watching a lot of straight porn, and he jacks off 3 to 4 times a day because it's just what he's doing. And really quickly, I met this girl last night, and we were talking in a group setting, and she's like, one time, one of my gay best friends got really drunk, and he tried to have sex with me. So, that's 2 stories.
Well, I think people can have like a sliding scale of sexual attraction.
Oh, totally. Right? Yeah. But the guy from last night she's like, no, he's like gay, boyfriends, like never has any interest in women. He just got drunk. He probably got horny. Women are very, very attractive, right? So even if you're gay guys have told me we get attracted to women as well. So there's definitely a scale. I'm just saying Diddy obviously he's on a scale. Whatever the scale is.
Yeah, he's on a scale. But I also think not every sexual act is purely sexual, right? Like, why do people cheat on a beautiful spouse? They do it because they feel powerful, or
validation.
They felt insecure. And now they feel like validated, or they feel like an ego boost, right? So I think for Diddy and some of these people, it's less about the sex, and it's more about the power and the ego. And I think to a lesser extent, a lot of people that do these different things, it's like there's some part of it that's like an insecurity or an ego trip or a power move or something,
I mean, once Biggie died, he put that song out with Sting playing on the guitar, and he's like, I'll be missing you, with Mary J. Blige or Faith Evans or whoever it was.
It was Faith Evans.
Yeah,
that was
it's a great song,
amazing,
but it's kind of
song.
like, I'm not saying he murdered Biggie, but it's sort of like probably had something to do with it. And then to put a song out that fast, that quick, that's some maniacal shit too, I think. To make a buck.
He knows
it wasn't non-profit.
No, somebody in one of the documentaries said he knew how to like monetize There was a great line. It was something like minimize people's feelings and monetize them and their relationships or something.
Oh,
so
man,
he was like
he was the
really,
best.
yeah.
These are the kind of people that are billionaires, by the way. They just are. They know how to get max value out of people. If you can't offer somebody something that's going to be very, very valuable to them, then they're going to think of other ways to kind of control you and abuse you. And that seems like that's what Diddy was doing. And I know other powerful people, and nobody's as worse as Diddy, obviously. But sometimes I'm like, why are you yelling at that person? What'd they do?
Yeah, people exploit people in different ways. They manipulate people in different ways.
And it's not just rich and powerful people, obviously. I've seen fast food managers yelling at fast food employees. So, like, the smallest power will go to somebody's head.
Yeah, the smallest power will go to someone's head. I don't know. Can't you think of a time in your life where you've been manipulated or someone attempted to manipulate you, where they try to get you to do something where you're like, what the fuck? And it's like, makes no sense, makes no reason, has no effect on them, but someone just wants you to do something for the sake of doing it. That's a tiny, tiny scale, a tiny crumb of what Diddy was doing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like when somebody's like, take a shot with me, take a shot with me. Oh, you don't want to take a shot? Dude, I was at my company retreat in November in Cabo, and my boss at the time, the guy that fired me over a 15-second phone call because he's a coward, he was like, take a shot, take a shot, take a shot. And I'm like, I don't take shots. I'm not taking a shot. I'm here in Mexico because I'm here for work, right? And I was with another Muslim guy too. And I did not take the shot because I was Muslim. It was because I just didn't want to take the shot. And I got so like, dude, you just need to step away from me. He was really, really drunk. And I thought about like emailing the company when I was trying to negotiate my severance and be like, hey, well, I was harassed by my boss and you fired me after 3 months. I think you owe me a lot more money. So this guy, I'm not saying he's Diddy, but some of the components are very similar. Someone told me once, a client of mine, that they had a meeting with him, and the entire time he was looking in the mirror, like at a restaurant, because there was like a mirror next to him. And I was like, that's funny. Him. That's literally him. Yeah. So it's not like Diddy, but people's... I'm like, dude, you're like a mid-level director at a tech company. Get over yourself, man.
I mean, okay, we're talking about work now, but okay, what about Desi culture? There's like a 0% chance that in everyone's wedding, someone didn't try to get the bride and groom to do something. They were like, what the fuck? Why am I trying to do this?
Like a rishta, like a
well, you're talking about well, you're talking about the wedding themselves, but like even just I'm talking about in the wedding planning. Like, well, why don't you?
Oh
do
yeah,
this?
like why? What about my way? Like what you don't want to do that? Like it's the dumbest shit. That's not Desi, by the way. Like there's wedding drama and bridezilla shit and in-law shit, probably in every culture. But Desi, we take it.
We take it to a whole other level.
We take it so far where I've known people who have never talked to the in-laws ever again because of like, oh, you didn't like greet me well at the wedding or whatever it is. So it's just so much like, that's power maybe, or is that more like customs
it's
and you
ego.
have to do, and more like an ego, right? Diddy's thing is ego, power, every narcissistic trait you could probably think of. Manipulation, control, violence. Yeah, the guy was just severely, severely detached from reality. But Desi's, we love to be a little dramatic. And if we get a little bit of power, hey, man, my Sunday school teacher, that guy, for no reason, would just yell at us. And we're there for an hour and 15 minutes. Like, dude, just teach us Sunday school shit and let us go.
I mean, bringing a bride as a Desi girl, that's your first taste of power.
Oh, I know, dude.
You're just like, look, bitches.
Yeah. You should have told people off.
You gotta do what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just kidding.
Tell them who you are.
Oh, yeah. I didn't do that. I didn't do that at all. But
yeah. You like spit in someone's drink and you're like, drink this. Drink it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I've heard stories of people being like, oh, no. I don't want to get a tan. So go fetch me some coffee and stuff like that. Like brides. It's like wild. It's crazy.
Oh, I've seen that. Shit. Yeah. I mean, not to get off Diddy too much because I think he's such a... Anyways.
It's fine. He's gotten off enough, so go ahead.
I know. I was trying to make that joke, and I was like, fuck, I got stuck. Have you seen Get Him to the Greek?
No.
With Jonah Hill and Russell Brand?
No.
And Diddy?
What?
So,
no.
Go back and watch this movie with Brian. It's like the most ridiculous fucking movie. Diddy's the music executive. Jonah Hill is like a lowly employee of this record label. and Russell Brand is a rock star, but he's like who he is,
getting out of
like
his prime.
druggy,
Yeah,
complete fornication with any, completely disgusting kind of individual, right? And when you watch the movie, they romanticize it like, hey, we should fuck in bathrooms and do cocaine and do any drug that we can find. The whole movie is like that, but Diddy is a psychopath in the movie, like a complete psychopath.
He's playing himself. Allegedly.
He's playing himself. He like drugs the guys. He beats someone up. He does all kinds of crazy shit. And I think Jonah Hill's character bangs some chick in a bathroom because they force him to. The whole movie's fucked up once you know all these details. Well, I've watched it a few times just because it's funny, but it's not that funny. Like, you should watch it.
Well,
it's pretty crazy. If you're a naturally good actor and you're playing yourself, that should set off a lot of alarm bells regardless.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, he was pretty open about it, and so were other people.
On Making the Band.
So many,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, on Making the Band, on commercials he did with people about his 50th birthday and all the celebrities that like
and he's
that
like
attended
older.
That.
He's not even like a 21-year-old. It's crazy. And then even people like LeBron are like, I've been to a Diddy party. Like the party itself, I'm sure he's had vanilla parties, but the stuff that goes on afterwards, I don't know who goes. I don't know, man.
I don't know
like
who
it's
goes either.
I'd be so tired already. I'd want to go home so bad. I don't care what's going on. I don't care who's there. I just leave.
I'm an
regardless.
introvert. I couldn't do it because I'm an introvert.
That's not why.
That's like the lead. I know.
Shabnam's
that's like the least.
Shabnam's like, I don't want to go to the party, but invite me at 2 a.m. I'll come for the freak off.
Oh my God, hell no. Hell no.
Man, I just keep thinking about taking semen through a vehicle, and the vehicle is a human being to another human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
then
Sorry, I
mean,
what kind of delivery system is this?
I don't know, but you know what Andrew Schultz said? He did some fertility treatments for his wife to get pregnant. He's like, who am I to judge? I gave my semen to another man who put it in my wife, so whatever.
I mean, that's funny, though. That's a legitimate joke, and it's a common process.
Very different,
That's
though.
called being a comedian. That's great. Diddy took it just, he's very literal with his actions. Like, extremely literal.
Exactly. Extremely literal, and he just cut the doctor out of the equation, and there was no pregnancy needed. It was just for shits and giggles.
Cassie never got a child by Diddy, right?
She never got pregnant with him, no, but she got married to
recently,
the personal trainer that he hired to work out with her, and she ended up developing a relationship with him. She left Diddy, got married to him, and Alex Fiennes is his name, and she's now 8.5 months pregnant with her third kid. So when she's on the stand, the judge is like, you guys need to finish at the end of this week, because basically, who knows, she might go into labor at any moment. So like, you can only
that's quite a
question her
compelling
so much.
scene to see a victim 8.5 months pregnant, happy with her new husband. How else was she supposed to meet someone, by the way? Because he had severe control over her. It was always going to be somebody that was close to her.
Right.
So good for her. Like, that's very well deserved to have a happy family like that. And Diddy deserves almost nothing. Well, I know what he deserves. We don't need to say it. He's not going to leave prison, right? I don't see him getting out. Maybe in his 80s or some shit, like in 30 years, I could see it. But a RICO sentence is a lifetime kind of sentence.
Yeah, it should be a long sentence, hopefully, assuming he's found guilty. But I have a hard time of anybody saying he's anything other than completely guilty of like listening to that, from the simple fact that he had all of his children, including his barely 18-year-old twin daughters who went to prom last week, come and listen to this stuff that we've been talking about.
Because he probably
the
controls
testimony.
the kids too. He's like a master manipulator. Of course those kids are attached to him. The most narcissistic, manipulative people whose kids don't get away from them, obviously.
Yeah.
Those kids have amazing lives. They grew up rich and wealthy. Of course they're going to be at their dad's side. Man, 18-year-old twins, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
To come listen to this bullshit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
I feel like if this shit came out, I don't think my daughter would ever talk to me again if my name was Diddy.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter. I mean, I don't think she would ever talk to me again.
Yeah, but like your kid is normal because you raise them normal. Yeah. He probably did not raise his kids normal. But he has sons that are in their 30s, right? So I'm like, okay, you want your like 32, 31-year-old
in the indictment as well?
I don't know. I heard something like that from someone else, but I don't think in this indictment. I think it's a separate case. but I'm not 100% sure. But he has these older children, right? So I'm like, fine. Okay, 31, 32, 29. Okay, have them come. Like, these girls literally went to prom last week and they're coming to listen to this stuff.
Leave them alone. That's a power play, by the way.
Yeah.
For him to have them there, that's a power play.
Yeah.
He made them.
It's so gross.
Somehow he forced them to come from his holding cell. I don't know, man. Like, whatever he gets is coming to him. It's going to be a glorious day for a powerful person
Cassie.
being taken down, and a glorious day for Cassie. Yeah. And just in general, we need less of these kind of people on the streets, right? So
100%. All right. Well, on that note, let's start our 3-day weekend.
Let's do it. I need to take some fluids to another human being right now. I'm just kidding. I don't have to do anything like that tonight.
You don't have to.
I don't have to.
Hopefully you
but
don't.
I might.
Hopefully you don't want to either. Yeah.
Hey, all consent only. None of this bullshit. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Coercion.
What are we doing? Yeah, no coercion here. Hey, I'm a hot commodity in San Diego. Sorry.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Is that an advertisement? Like,
hey, somebody come find me. Hey, come find me. No, it's not an advertisement. It's Friday night. I think I'm getting a little cooped up in the house. It's a beautiful day outside. We should get out of here. Shabnam, where can people find us, though?
People can find us at Chai After Dark on all socials, and also look for Chai After Dark on all podcast platforms, and listen to us, like, subscribe, and rate us 5 stars, and also write us a little review. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
That's right. Let's jingle out of here, and let's not use any of Diddy's tracks. Let's use our own. Here we go.
No,
jingle out.
No baby oil.
No baby oil.
Dun, 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 dun.